might be. They ended up in putting so many laws on media, social media laws, and media laws on what, just to make people sure that people are afraid. They create fear on people to shut us up, but not for Biafrans. We will continue to speak. We will continue to talk for as long as we have life. No matter how they try to hold us back, no matter their lies, their propaganda, their blackmail, we have refused to be silenced. We have refused to be silenced, and we will not be silenced. They have done it on several occasions, from several ways and several angles. But my joy is that Biafran people are strong and formidable. The more they do these things to weaken us, they also wake up and realize that we cannot be weakened, because we know what we are fighting for. We are asking for our rights. What we are demanding for self-determination is our right. It's not just a privilege, it is our right. And we will continue to demand for that. My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, lovers of truth across the world, tonight we speak truth to power. The Nigerian government has waged an illegal war against innocent Biafrans. They continue to wage illegal war against the innocent citizens of Biafra. A campaign of blood, a campaign of deceit and denial. That is what we are seeing every blessed day. The same way they are shedding blood in all parts of that country, both in the north, in the southwest, and in Biafra land. And they continue to deceive the world about it. They continue to deny it. Even in the president's genocide against the Biafra, against the Christians that has been talked about, they continue to deny it. And what they do is they deceive people. They go and bribe organizations, bribe groups, even Christian groups, Biafran people, to come and testify that there's no genocide in Nigeria. And this bunch of idiots, this bunch of clowns who are chasing their own personal interests will come and deny the shedding of blood that is happening even in their own territory. They join the enemy to deceive the world about the atrocities of the government, the involvement of the government in this genocide. They join the world, join the Nigerian government to continue to deny something that is obvious, that is very open, in the open. You don't need to be a Nigerian for you to see the genocide in Nigeria. Evidence of the genocide in Nigeria is all around in the media. How do you explain a place where what happened in Yelwata happened, where 200 individuals, children, mothers, parents, were butchered in cold blood? 200 human beings. How do you explain the mass burials that happened in Benue State? How do you explain the mass killing that happened in Enugu State? How do you explain that? And each time when they come, they deny this fact. And whenever this very atrocity is affected and they claim it's enough, go and check those are the indigenous people of that area, and not the Fulanis. The people who are pursuing the conquest of Nigeria in the name of Islam are the Fulanis. The Fulanis, this bloodthirsty group, continue to march. And it is not history or story that the British handed over a supposed country into the hand of these terrorists. The British handed them over that very land, and that is why they want to conquer it and take it over completely. Foreigners who have come, British have stolen all this. So instead of them to leave the people in peace, and they continue to terrorize the country in the name of Islam, and they want to take over the land by fire, by force. They have succeeded in bringing some of the Southerners into their side to help them to push this propaganda. And it is ongoing even as we speak. But tonight, we expose it with facts, international law, and moral fire. This is not a fight of gun. What we are seeing today, it is not just a fight of gun anymore. It is a fight of truth versus tyranny. What you are seeing in Nigeria is a fight of truth versus tyranny. It is not a fight of guns and weapons and whatever. It is a fight of truth versus tyranny. That is why Nigeria is paying billions. Nigeria has gone bankruptcy in order to suppress the truth. They have gone bankrupt just to suppress this truth. They go to every length, including bribing the same people that are involved, to testify and claim that what is happening never happened, even when there are confirmed evidence, verifiable evidence. People have gone on the ground to see things for themselves, interview people for themselves. We have a lot of interviews we've played online, and yet some idiots that don't have conscience will still come and deny it. You can only see such in a contraption like Nigeria. I want every one of you to join us on this evening. Let us unmask this madness. Stay with us. Share the broadcast in your own platform. Share the broadcast to family and friends. Let the world know Biafra is not a crime. Biafra is a right. Being a Biafran is not a crime. Promoting and supporting Biafra is not a crime. It is a right. But they have made so many people to believe that speaking about Biafra, talking about Biafra is a crime. And so many people, out of fear, have chickened out. But we will not be silenced. Nigerian brutal attack and gross human rights violation is everywhere. There are evidences everywhere. One of the most popular is the breaking of international laws at every given opportunity. These are happening every blessed day. And we must not pretend they are not happening. We must not pretend they are not happening. We have seen on several occasions in Biafra land, in the old southeastern region, you see the amount of human violation in that very area. Repeated violation of international human rights and humanitarian laws. In the southeastern part of Nigeria, they violated every blessed day, even as at yesterday, one happened in the court before the eye of the whole world. And nobody says anything. Nobody said anything. Nigeria continued to break international laws that they signed up to. Nigeria has not respected its own law, let alone international laws. They do not care. And the whole world is watching. There's no sanction given to them. Now that some part of the world have woken up to give sanction, they are coming out with different kinds of lies, propaganda, and blackmail to make sure it doesn't happen, because they want to keep the criminality to continue. And I hope that the United States will not pay attention to those madness. The human rights abuse in Nigeria is unimaginable, very especially in the southeastern part of Nigeria. The patterns they include extrajudicial killing. It is even as you are watching the video. There are evidences everywhere, in video, in picture, in audio. Extrajudicial killing. We have had, when orders were given to them, go in and take the life of every young man from 15 upwards. We have had secret informations, audios that came out where instructions were given to the military to go and take out everybody. And when they go to Biafra, that's exactly where they go. They burn houses, burn family houses, destroy businesses, and take lives. We have also heard about arbitrary detention. Arbitrary detention is the order of the day. Amnesty International have so many reports of which they post time and time, but no action is being taken. No action. Torture is something that is part of them. Torture is the daily life of Nigerians. More especially in the South, is they are facing torture every blessed day. Collective punishment. That is what we are facing in the southeastern part of Nigeria, the Biafra land. Collective punishment. They punish everybody, both children, old, young, for something we don't know anything about. For example, the so-called Igbo coup that later on turned out to be Igbo coup. Because of that one single lie, sponsored by the British, millions lost their life. And the hatred continues even up to this moment. Excessive use of force. That is the order of the day in Biafra land. That is why today we cannot protest in Biafra land, no matter what. Our supreme leader has been here for 5 years. We can't protest because of the excessive use of force by the Nigerian government. That every time we protest, they use live bullets. Innocent protesters. Harmless protesters with just flags and placards. The Nigerian government will use live bullets on them and unalive many people. It has happened so many times. In violation of international law, and nobody is paying attention. There are credible reports from reputable human rights organizations documented, a lot of them, showing these abuses of Nigerian government. One of them was shown to the late Muhammad Buhari. When he went for an interview in the CNN, it was shown live. He refused to look at it. He refused to look at it. That is how bad it is. Nigeria has never been held accountable for their crimes, not even once. No option for accountability exists anywhere for Nigeria. International Court, African human rights bodies, United Nations mechanism, none of them have been able to take action against Nigeria. And we are calling on them that it is time to take action. We are calling on all these international bodies to take action. It is long overdue. Not just the United States discussing it in their house. International courts should weigh in. ICC should weigh in and begin to take people in immediately. African human rights bodies should weigh in and begin to speak and take action immediately. United Nations mechanisms should also weigh in. And we will mobilize them by speaking, by writing, by educating them. And that is why we are coming online to speak. Every one of us should try as much as possible not to be silent. We must continue to speak, no matter how bad it is, no matter how difficult it is. Do not be discouraged. The abuses that is happening in Biafra land is unimaginable. You saw what happened in Obibo. Up to today, there are still people who are languishing in prison in the north from Obibo, simply because they are Biafrans. It's been years now, years and years, and more than 5 years and still counting. People are languishing in cells in the northern part of Nigeria from Obibo. They just throw them in that area so that nobody's going to discover them. People that committed no crime. It is sad. It is sad. Self-determination is not a crime. Self-determination is not a privilege. Self-determination is a right of the people, supported by international law, African peoples and human rights law, including the Zoological Republic law. But yet, Nigeria prosecute, detain, unalive people because of self-determination. Nigeria unalive many people because of self-determination. Nigerians must be held accountable for their crimes. The Zoological Republic called Nigeria must be held accountable for their crime. And the world must wake up and wake up now. We cannot continue to be silent in the face of atrocities that is happening every blessed day. We cannot continue to be silent. It is time everyone will add their voice and speak and let the world know what is happening. The atrocities of Nigeria against the Biafran people that started since 1967 is still ongoing up to date. The war, the loss of life, the attack, the pogrom is still going on. It never stopped. Only today they have managed to realize it, that they can be able to carry it out without anybody saying a word. Simply because we are asking for self-determination. We cannot conduct a peaceful protest. They don't allow us to involve in radio activism just to broadcast and speak about our situation. They don't want to do it. They don't want us. That is why today Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in court. Simple because he was in the radio educating his people, telling the people what is going to happen and what has already happened. And everything he said in that radio, they have all completed today. They have happened before our own very eyes. And yet they are detaining that man for speaking the truth. The crime that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed was that he spoke the truth. He didn't keep silent like every other person. He didn't keep quiet. It is high time the world begin to hold them accountable. It is high time. Nigeria have criminalized self-determination and they end up in dragging so many other countries like Finland. They drag Finland today. Finland joined them in criminalizing self-determination, and that is why Finland have detained our Prime Minister Mazi Nnamdi. Nnamdi did not commit any crime. All he was doing was educating his own people. The same thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was doing. But some people, out of envy and jealousy, Biafrans themselves went against him, fought against him. Nigeria, seeing that the Biafrans have done the dirty work for them, they weighed him, and finally our Prime Minister Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was detained. Gross human rights abuse. That is what Nigeria is made up of. Every single thing about Nigeria is abuse of human rights. Everything they indulge in. It is happening every blessed day. Which one are you going to count? And which one are you going to forget about? The atrocities that is being committed in Nigeria, the abuse, the major victims are the Biafrans. This atrocity is committed against every single person in that Nigeria, regardless of your tribe, your location, your religion. But the main victim is Biafran people. We have suffered long enough. And that is why we can no longer be silent. We can't tolerate anymore. Civilians, farmers, traders, students, elders, women, and children are victimized every day, are unalived by the government-sponsored terrorists every blessed day. Community leaders, journalists, peaceful protesters are unalived simply because they were looking for justice or bringing out the truth. The families of detainees denied due process, just like in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. you can see has been denied so many rights for nothing. So many. We have a lot of video evidence, picture evidence, audio evidence of the atrocities of Nigerian government that we have seen on a daily basis. If the world refuse to act, it might be too late when they do in time to come. If the world refuse to act now, it might be too late later on. Extrajudicial killing is happening every single day, even as we speak. Civilians are murdered during raids and roadside operations. And nobody's held accountable. They will just tell you accidental discharge. Civilians, they are murdered every day during roadside and raids that they conduct. You see them, we see it every day on video, on the social media. Nobody's held accountable. Arbitrary detention and disappearance. People arrested without warrant, held in unknown location, just like those in Igbo who are held in the north before somebody discovered them. And they are still there even as we speak. These are human rights abuses that cannot be tolerated by any sane country. Torture and ill treatment. Credible testimonies of abuse in custody. We have seen so many of them. Just like one of our sisters that they raped in detention. They arrested her, they raped her, abused her, only left her to die. But the grace of Chukwu saved her, and she came out and confessed to all that happened to her. And after that revelation, nobody was held accountable. Nobody was called to order. No. What you see in Biafra land is collective punishment for all of us. Mass arrests, imposition of curfew at any time. You just wake up and impose curfew. They destroy the properties of Biafra people at will, targeting communities, just like what happened in Okuama. It happened in Okuama. It is still happening today in Okigwe and all. It is still ongoing. And nobody is paying attention. Nobody cares. They don't allow us to express ourselves. They do not allow the Biafrans to assemble. Whenever you assemble, they open fire on you. They attack us on our media platforms. They shut down our media. They put different kinds of law to scare people away from speaking the truth. They have succeeded in banning us from protests. Biafrans can no longer protest. That is why, in a very tough time like that, the only person that could call for protest is not a Biafran. Sowore, in his wisdom, decided to call for a protest. And after that call for protest, you see some of them just waking up and keying in, which means they know that this is what is to be done, but they don't have the boldness to mention it. Until Sowore talked about it. Now they are coming out to give their support. Self-determination is our right. United Nations Charter, International Covenants, African Charter, all support self-determination. Prohibition on arbitrary deprivation of life, torture, and cruel treatment. All these are international legal frameworks, but put in place, but Nigeria does not respect anyone. Nigeria does not respect anyone. Common Article 3 IHL, protection during non-international armed conflict. Nigeria don't care. Crimes falling under the Rome Statutes, war crime, crime against humanity, and genocidal definitions and elements is what you see in Nigeria every day. Every blessed day. And nobody cares. wherever you are as a Biafran, it is high time we rise up. We rise up and do the needful. This paying of lip service is not going to help anybody. Nigeria is party to fundamental human rights and humanitarian treaties. They have signed these treaties and has ratified the Rome Statute, meaning international mechanisms can be engaged when domestic remedies fail. But yet, after signing up to these treaties and ratifying them, still yet Nigeria continues to violate them. And the question is, why is it that the international community is not taking action? Why is it that Nigeria is not called to order? Why is not held accountable? Nobody wants to hold them accountable. Why is it so? You are waiting until the entire nation is wiped out before you begin to take action, right? I don't know what you're waiting for. This is something they have signed up to, and they violate it at will. Yet, nobody pays attention or calls them attention. There are so many evidences, both the ones that are coming from human rights organizations themselves, international NGOs, investigative journalists have published reports documenting patterns of abuse in the southeastern part of Nigeria, Biafra land. These things are documented. It's not something that you say you don't see or you're going to look for it before you find it. It is scattered everywhere. These reports collect eyewitnesses' testimony. They are everywhere. Medical evidence. They are everywhere. Satellite imageries. On the ground reporting. These things are facts. That you don't even need a debate. You don't need any debates in it. There are facts. They are all facts. There are evidence everywhere. But yet, the question is, what is the world waiting for? What is the world waiting for? A country that has violated all the laws. Yet, nobody cares. There are evidences of arbitrary arrest everywhere. And nobody cares. Look at the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what they are doing. A man whom the Amnesty International, United Nations have given them order to release him and pay him compensation. Yet,